Industrial Talk is brought to you by Palo Alto Networks. You've heard me talk about my friends at Palo Alto Networks, Zero Trust OT Security, delivering a comprehensive security solution for all OT assets, networks, and remote operations. But did you know that the Palo Alto Networks solution provides over 1,100 app IDs for OT protocols, over 500 profiles for critical OT assets, and over 650 OT-specific threat signatures? Now that's best-in-class security delivered. Learn more about Palo Alto Networks' Zero Trust OT security solutions and how you can achieve 351% ROI over 5 years. Learn more about the Palo Alto Networks solution by going out to paloaltonetworks.com. That's paloaltonetworks.com.
Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott McKenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, once again, welcome to Industrial Talk, a platform that is dedicated to you, industrial professionals and companies that get it done because you're bold, brave, you dare greatly, you innovate, you collaborate, you solve problems, and therefore you're making the world a better place. We are broadcasting on site. SMRP 31 is the place in Orlando, Florida. And that is something that if you have any passion, any desire, any need to get engaged, go to smrp.org. Start there. That is your first step right off the bat. That's smrp.org. They have all the resources for you to be a successful asset management, reliability, and maintenance professional. Big time, smrp.org. Tim is in the house. We're going to be talking AI, so let's get cracking. All right, Tim. Don't let us down. Bring the energy.
Will do.
Yeah, you do whatever you need to do. AI is definitely the word of the day. It's for anything.
Very, very buzzy for sure.
Oh, that's an understatement.
I think probably what we hear often is, I think people are getting a little bit more hip to the buzzword, and they're actually asking the question like, well, how is this AI? What is it doing? And what does it do for us?
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it is a big challenge since so many other companies are touting AI for us to really demonstrate.
How in the heck do I trust it?
Right.
How do I know?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's cool. I can upload a quick statement and give me a summary, and it sort of, I take it for what it's worth and I run with the summary. But how do I know that one AI is better than the other? I don't know how you do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely an issue that each individual will have to work through and make sure that they're doing their research and their due diligence. But I think, you know, we're in an important phase where we're moving away from like just saying buzzy AI stuff, and then now trying to actually relay to companies and you know, individuals like, this is a tangible piece of AI and this is how it can enhance and help what you're doing. So trying to actually prove out and show the benefit of where AI can help someone, particularly frontline workers and, you know, people in maintenance and reliability and asset management. You know, there's some really tangible use cases where AI is very beneficial.
Before we get into those, I broke the cardinal rule of interviewing. I don't even know who Tim is. So if I don't, the listeners don't know. Give us background.
Yeah, absolutely. My name's Tim Whelan. I'm the head of sales for Datch. That's DATCH, Datch.io. And, you know, we are an AI-powered enterprise mobility solution. And then my background is I've been in SaaS sales for, you know, over 10 years in industrial adjacent markets. So formerly selling like EHS solutions as well as IIoT platforms and data analytic platforms, and now currently focusing on like data acquisition and frontline worker enablement. So yeah, Datch is an enterprise mobility solution. We're powered by AI. We leverage natural language processing, so frontline workers can actually speak to mobile devices as they're completing tasks. And we'll collect that data, we can enrich it, and then we can route it into any back office systems that it needs to end up in, and we can prompt any actions that need to happen from there.
All right, now everybody knows that Tim has mad skills and I don't. So that's just the way it is. It's always okay. Let's talk a little bit about AI. Sure. We briefly mentioned it, but how is AI transforming the asset management world?
Well, I'd say that AI has the potential to transform the asset management world. Right now, we're looking at this sort of adoption phase where, large companies are, looking into AI, looking into their kind of more of their stance on AI and how they can incorporate it into their stacks. I'd say that it has the potential to enhance what they're doing by, in our case, we can collect cleaner, more contextualized data, and what that will allow is for asset management teams and reliability teams to make better asset lifecycle decisions. So that's the main piece, but ultimately too, we're trying to reduce unplanned downtime, right? Get it down to the minimum. So if we can help them understand, their assets a little bit better, and maybe predict when things are going to fail a little bit better, then obviously then we can keep that uptime at the most positive.
Give us some use cases in the world of asset management where this will be. We all have a similar conversation, and the conversation is, I'm collecting data. I run that data through some sort of analytic and parameters of some sort, and then if it goes outside those parameters, then that's bad, and it fires off something. How will AI differ from that?
Yeah, that's a really good use case, but I'd say that the core tenet of that is clean data, and that's what we're trying to solve. So right now, think about Industry 4.0, also pretty buzzy, and it's very broad, and there's a lot of different...
It's a miscellaneous file. Everything gets thrown into Industry 4.0.
But one of the key pieces, right, one of the building blocks to anything that you want to do within Industry 4.0 is data. Like that, they need more data now more than ever. So in order to accomplish those goals of where you're feeding it into some algorithm and then it spits something out and it says, hey, this is the most optimal settings, or this asset's going to fail then, or these are the things that you need to look out for, you need good data. And right now there's plenty of different systems and tools that can grab data from machines, right? So if you're thinking about IoT sensors or grabbing data off of PLCs, that data is traditionally very trustworthy. Now it's the human-entered data that is historically unreliable and untrustworthy. Finger. Right. But just when you think about it, let's say that you've got 500 field workers, right? Right there, and you're relying on them to enter data back into the system. Right there, before anything else, you have 500 different variables of how data is going to be entered, right? So there's no standardization when you're looking at who's entering data, how they're entering data. There's some great use cases for AI would be, worker enablement, plus data enrichment, right? So the worker enablement piece is like, how do I offer better technology and better experiences for the worker so they can do their job a little bit more effectively and efficiently? So the way that we will do that, right, is we offer mobility, right? So instead of, having to go back to a laptop or, a kiosk or something like that to close out work orders, for example. Yeah. A maintenance technician can use their phone application and they can speak data back into their phone, right? So this is conversational AI. What we'll do is interpret what they actually mean, not just take exactly what they say and dump it into a field, but we'll actually interpret what they mean. So if there's like we gotta step on that one for a bit. Are you saying that I can? I just performed maintenance on this motor. And then instead of me fat fingering that thing in, all I have to do is say,
yeah, I changed the bushings and this, that, and the other thing, and that AI will step in and be able to summarize that in a more cogent way than me?
I mean, it will. So our language model will be able to take what you said, clean it up, right? So if you are like me and you throw in a lot of ums and ahs, and you need a little bit of time to sort of bring your thoughts together, and you fill in space with filler words, you can eliminate that. But also if you say things like, completed work on an extruder this morning, and I replaced it. Not this morning, this afternoon at 4:00. It can completely erase that this morning and just put in I completed this work at 4:00, right? But I think the more powerful piece of like the NLP and like what it's understanding is when we're integrating with another system, take like SAP plant maintenance, for example, we can we know what fields need to be entered, data needs to be entered into when they're closing out a work order, for example. If someone enters a block of unstructured text and they just say something like, hey, went to extruder number 1, replaced a screw, took 3 hours, used part ABC, we can take that data and structure it back into those fields just from that like paragraph of text. So as a frontline worker is, leaving one job and moving over to its next ticket, they can close out that work order. But what that will allow them to do, again, since they have mobility and they can enter this in real time, it allows them to enter more of that contextualized data that they might forget otherwise if they entered it later, right? So if they say, hey, I replaced a screw, but guess what? I noticed that the flywheel was wearing, right? There was metal shavings in the box. Maybe that's something they don't remember if they're entering it in at the end of the day, and maybe 3 weeks from now, flywheel blows and that asset's down for 3 days. So giving them tools to do their job a little bit better will help the enterprise ultimately get that more contextualized data. And then obviously things like real-time translation and transcription. We have plenty of frontline workers that are not, that speak a native language other than English, or, it doesn't matter what country you're in, but, we have the capability to translate and transcribe in real time. So again, these are sort of these worker enablement tools that allow them to do their job more efficiently and better. And then we also have the data enrichment side, right? So this could be prompting questions based off of data that's entered. So if, they say, hey, again, I'm using the same terms over and over again, had to replace the screw, when I opened the box, it was black, right? And it's like, we can prompt questions from there. We can say things like, was there metal shavings in the box? Was it making a weird noise before it went down? Was it whining? Was it screeching? Right? And these are things that our model is picking up and prompting questions based off of that. And the goal is to get better data back to the planners and the schedulers so they can do a better job of preparing the maintenance worker for whatever the task is going to be. We all know those stories where a scheduler or planner, puts one work order out, maintenance person goes to the asset, they open it up and they're like, this is not the work that needs to be done, and they have to go back to the office, get a new plan, get new tools, and it's just extremely inefficient. So we can work on that, but again, ultimately, like we mentioned, we want to keep uptime as optimized as possible. So yeah, if we can get better data back to them to hopefully predict and prevent when assets might have issues or when parts need to be replaced, then ultimately the entire enterprise is going to run a lot more efficiently.
So with that said, so I'm taking a work order, I'm updating the work order. I've analyzed this particular piece of equipment, and then I verbally enter in the information, which I think is just brilliant. Honestly, I'll be the poster child for not wanting to enter data.
Sure.
Or pencil whipping it or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So I'm able to sort of verbally say, hey, this is this, and have an AI platform that will sort of clean it up and make it succinct.
Yep.
So that planners and others can understand what's actually happening or what happened at that asset.
Yep.
is just, that's a great use case.
Sure.
that I really like. Do I have an opportunity to spit out my analysis and then correct it?
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't have to be. It's not like an automatic fire back into SAP. Like you can you can check the work before you hit publish.
But eventually it's going to be, because I know that I'm not going to want to spend time trying to correct my, I don't know. It just seems like it would be a great thing. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, so again, the NLP, the natural language processing is very good. Like, I mean, it's very, very good. I mean, we're talking about, upwards of close to 100% accuracy, right? In multiple different languages, 60 different languages actually. So yeah, the technology is very good. Of course, people like the opportunity to read their notes, check their work, and maybe add some more contextualization, right? And we allow that opportunity, so it doesn't publish automatically unless you hit publish. But I mean, that's more for. I think there's going to become an adoption curve where it's like people need to get comfortable with really new technology, that it's actually going to work the way that they expect it to. Once they get comfortable with that technology because they've had experience with it working correctly, then it'll become more of a just, I know that this is working, I don't need to look at my screen. I can just speak to my phone after saying, hey, Datch, and then keep walking, maybe I'm working on an asset even while I'm doing this stuff, and I can rely that it's going to go back in its system.
How do you deploy it? How do you come in? I'm an existing organization. Of course, I have my CMMS and has the historical record of. I'm not asking about how clean the data is associated with that asset, but I have data. It's associated with the asset. How do you incorporate this AI technology into my existing,
Yeah. So, I think there's baby steps. And to give a broad picture here too, like what Datch wants to be ultimately is the single interface, so the front end piece of software that someone interacts with, right? For every back office system that an enterprise works with. So we're talking about plugging in your EAM, or CMMS, or it could be your HRIS software, right? So you can imagine being at a maintenance person is at an asset, and they're entering data, or they're speaking data back into their phone. They're saying, hey, just completed work order number 123. By the way, it's my wife's birthday tomorrow and I want to request off, right? Taking that unstructured data, routing into two different systems, one back into the EAM, the other time off requests into the HRIS system for a supervisor to approve or deny time off, right? That's ultimately what we want to be, is like that front end tool, like the only front end tool that they use. But so nowadays for the deployment, we usually focus on something like, an EAM. We have a turnkey integration into SAP plant maintenance, specifically with S4HANA. So since we have that turnkey integration and we have this Datch for asset management solution that is ready out of a box, so it's anything that a maintenance person would need, that can doesn't need to be configured customized in any sort of way, but we complete the implementation over a week to two, which will be plugged into that back office system, and then it's as simple as downloading an app on a mobile phone for all of the users. So we can deploy within a month. The adoption is very easy because it's sort of like using Facebook or Instagram or anything that they're used to using on a phone.
So it really is a phone interface.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I can take it and I can say, get on the app, speak into it.
Yep.
And then magically it goes into the areas. That's where you want to go. I get it. That's the use case. That's where you want to go. But to do it in such a way that it makes it so efficient, and you don't have to. You're trying to eliminate the typing.
Yeah, there's a ton of friction when it comes to data entry, right? And that's why there's been so many different technologies that focus on eliminating humans from data entry, right?
Wow.
Again, so if we're thinking about IIoT initiatives and just data pipelines that are pulling directly from machines, the goal was to eliminate humans to make sure that data is accurate. The problem is when we're dealing with asset management, it's impossible to eliminate the human, right? Like, these are the people that are completing the work, and so to get the data back in as to what work was done or what work needs to be done, you have to have humans. And I think, unfortunately, as an industry, we've sort of accepted that there's no good way to make that aspect any better, to get cleaner data. And we think that's lazy, and we know that there's a way to actually make it better, and it's by offering enablement tools to the frontline worker that gives them a better experience and allows them to enter data in real time. And then again, those enrichment tools where it's like, I'm going to take the data, I'm going to interpret what you're saying, and I'm going to prompt questions to enrich that data and make the quality of it much higher when it's going back into the systems of record.
I think it's mad. I think it's mad technology. I can't complain about it. I really think that's cool stuff. And it's still at the tip of the iceberg.
Yep. More to come, for sure.
How do they get a hold of you, Tim?
So you can find me, my email address is tim@datch, datch.com, or you can find me on LinkedIn. It's Tim Whelan, that's Whelan. And yeah, I'd be happy to connect with anyone. I love having conversations like this, and I love sort of the debate of how technology can help within this industrial setting.
Amazing. All right, listeners, we're going to have all the contact information for Tim out on Industrial Talk, so fear not. All of his contact information will be there. Reach out. That is your number one thing that you need to do, because he's got mad skills. We are broadcasting from SMRP 31. Come to SMRP 32. When you just got to make that a priority. Go out to smrp.org. Become a maintenance professional, reliability professional, and asset management professional. That is your first stop, smrp.org. We're going to have another great conversation shortly, so stay tuned. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
Incredible stat card for Tim. Tim, I'm looking at it right now, LinkedIn. Go out to Tim Whelan. Contact information will be out on Industrial Talk. Datch is the company, DATCH.io, right? And that is the Marion of AI solutions. It's happening with asset management and how to improve that whole profession. It's an exciting time. Don't get me wrong. You need to reach out with Tim, and you need to find that trusted, that individual that you can ask questions and be able to see how AI can help your business. It's happening. It just is. Find those trusted resources. Industrial Talk is here for you, industrial professionals, to amplify your voice. Be a part of this ecosystem, this expanding ecosystem, and be a part of that community that really solves problems. We've got a lot going on out there. Go out to Industrial Talk. Be bold, be brave, dare greatly. Absolutely hang out with Tim. Change the world.